The news hit social media like a thunderclap. Its official clapperboard Netflix to release documentary on Sam Heughan's life. Within minutes, fans across the world were in disbelief. Was this really happening? For years, people had seen Sam through the lens of his characters: the noble Jamie Fraser, the charming romantic lead, the perfect gentleman of Hollywood. But now, for the first time ever, the man behind the image was stepping into the spotlight, not as an actor, but as himself. Netflix confirmed the project early Monday morning, revealing the official title, Sam Heughan, Beyond the Spotlight. The announcement came with a single, striking image. Sam standing alone against the misty hills of Scotland, his hands in his pockets, his gaze calm but full of unspoken emotion. The tagline read, "Before the fame, there was the fight." And just like that, the internet exploded. Fans who had followed Sam's journey for over a decade knew this was monumental. He has always been famously private, rarely revealing details about his personal life beyond the surface. His interviews are often polite but guarded, his social media carefully curated, a mix of professional updates and glimpses of nature, never gossip or drama. That's exactly why the announcement felt so powerful. It promised to peel back the curtain on a man the world thought it already knew. According to Netflix's official statement, the documentary will explore Sam's life, from his humble beginnings in rural Scotland to his rise as one of the most recognizable actors of his generation. But beyond fame and fortune, it will dive deep into his inner world, the challenges, insecurities, and quiet moments that shaped him. It's not just another celebrity story. It's an intimate portrait of perseverance, loss, and rediscovery. Production reportedly began months ago in secret, with a small film crew following Sam across Europe and the US as he revisited key moments from his life. One scene, sources say, shows him walking through the village where he grew up, reflecting on the hardships his family faced after his father left. Another shows him in the theater where he performed his first role as a young drama student, a small stage where dreams began long before the fame. Netflix executives hinted that the film's tone would be raw and reflective. One producer described it as less about fame, more about finding peace in it. Viewers can expect candid conversations with people who know Sam best: his mother, childhood friends, co-stars, and even a few surprise guests from his Outlander journey. He's finally letting people see what drives him, another insider shared. It's not the spotlight, it's the story. The decision to make the documentary reportedly came from Sam himself. After years of being portrayed as an enigma, he wanted to reclaim his own narrative. In an early teaser clip released by Netflix, Sam is seen sitting by a fireplace, looking directly into the camera. His voice is steady but soft as he says, "People think they know who I am. But they only know the parts I've played. Maybe it's time to tell the story in my own words." That single quote was enough to send chills through the fandom. On Twitter, fans shared emotional reactions. "He deserves this moment. We've seen Jamie Fraser. Now it's time to meet Sam Heughan." The excitement wasn't just about celebrity curiosity, it was about admiration. Sam's rise to fame hasn't been without struggle. Long before Outlander made him a household name, he faced years of rejection, financial hardship, and self-doubt. To many, his story isn't just one of success, it's one of survival. Entertainment journalists have already begun calling the documentary a potential game changer for how celebrity stories are told. Instead of polished perfection, the film promises authenticity, the real emotions behind the man who has spent a lifetime portraying others. One Hollywood columnist wrote, "If Sam truly opens up the way Netflix suggests, this could be one of the most honest and moving documentaries of the year." The timing couldn't be more perfect. As Sam approaches 2 decades in the industry, he stands at a unique point in his career, respected, admired, but still evolving. His fans have watched him grow, not just as an actor but as a humanitarian, entrepreneur, and advocate for mental health awareness. This documentary, in many ways, feels like the culmination of that journey, a chance for him to finally be seen, not as a character, but as a man. And yet, beneath all the excitement, one question remains: why now? Why did Sam choose this moment, after years of silence and careful privacy, to let the world in? Netflix has hinted that the answer lies within the film itself. The truth he shares will surprise people, said the director. This isn't about fame or confession. It's about understanding. As the trailer's final frame fades to black, Sam's voice can be heard one more time. Sometimes you have to step away from the spotlight to see who you really are. The date is set, the world is ready, and for the first time, Sam Heughan isn't playing a role. He's telling the truth. As the buzz around Sam Heughan, beyond the spotlight, continued to grow, anticipation gave way to deep emotion. When Netflix finally released the first full trailer, fans knew this wasn't going to be a glossy Hollywood profile. It was something raw, personal, and profoundly human. From the very first frame, it was clear. This documentary wasn't about the actor Sam Heughan. It was about the man behind the fame, the struggles behind the smile, and the journey toward peace after years of living in the public eye. The trailer opened with the haunting sound of wind sweeping through the Scottish Highlands, Sam's homeland, and the place where it all began. The camera panned slowly to reveal him standing alone on a hilltop, looking out at the mist-covered landscape. His voice narrated quietly. Before the applause, before the fame, there was silence. And sometimes, silence teaches you more than any success ever could. The tone was reflective, almost meditative. Gone was the confident red carpet charisma fans were used to seeing. Here, Sam spoke softly, vulnerably, about the moments that shaped him. He recounted growing up with little money, raised by his mother after his father left. "We didn't have much," he said, "but we had stories, and stories were what kept us going." He visited the small village where he spent his childhood, walking through the same narrow streets, greeting old neighbors who still remembered the quiet boy who loved to dream. From there, the film shifted to Sam's early acting days, years of rejection, self-doubt, and near giving up. Old photos and videos showed him sleeping on friends' couches, taking small theater jobs for little pay, and even working odd gigs just to afford food. One line stood out: "I must have auditioned 100 times before someone finally said yes." That yes turned out to be Outlander, the role that would change his life forever. But fame, the documentary revealed, came with a heavy price. As the screen filled with images of Sam surrounded by fans, flashing cameras, and constant attention, his voiceover grew more introspective. People see the success, the smile, the travel, but they don't see the days when you question if it's all worth it. When you lose pieces of yourself trying to be everything the world expects. The documentary didn't shy away from the darker moments, the online harassment, the invasive tabloid rumors, the endless scrutiny about his personal life. For years, Sam had remained silent, choosing to focus on his work rather than fight back. But here, he finally opened up. "It hurt," he admitted. "Because people forget that actors are human. We bleed too." The film balanced these heavier confessions with uplifting scenes of resilience. Viewers saw Sam training for his Sassenach Spirits whiskey brand, hiking alone through the mountains to clear his mind, and reconnecting with his Outlander co-stars, moments of laughter, warmth, and authenticity. Katrina Balfe appeared in an emotional interview, saying, "Sam's one of the most genuine people I've ever met. He gives everything to others, sometimes too much. This film, I think, is him finally giving something to himself." The most powerful moment came near the end of the documentary. Sam returned to his old drama school in Glasgow, where he spoke to a group of students about perseverance. Looking around the same classroom where he once dreamed of success, he smiled and said, "You don't have to be fearless to chase your dream. You just have to take the first step, even if you're terrified." The students gave him a standing ovation, but his eyes glistened with humility rather than pride. In the closing scenes, Sam visited the edge of a loch at sunset. The golden light reflected on the water as he sat down, hands folded, lost in thought. His narration carried over the image. "I've spent years pretending to be other people. But maybe life isn't about finding who you want to be. It's about remembering who you've always been." As the credits rolled, a dedication appeared on screen. "For those still searching for their own story." It was a message that resonated deeply, not only with his fans but with anyone who had ever felt lost in the noise of modern life. Critics called the documentary surprisingly raw, a masterclass in vulnerability, and a love letter to Scotland and self-discovery. But for the fans who had followed Sam from the start, it was more than that. It was a window into the soul of a man they'd admired for years, and proof that behind the camera-ready perfection was someone beautifully, painfully real. When asked in a post-release interview why he finally agreed to share his life so openly, Sam smiled and said, "Because I realized that honesty connects us more than perfection ever could." And that, perhaps, is the true legacy of Sam Heughan. Beyond the spotlight. Not the glamour, not the success, but the courage to strip all that away and remind the world that even its brightest stars are still searching for meaning in the dark.